In this video, I'll show you 4 scripts that can be used to speed up combat when you're dealing with groups of monsters, allowing you to quickly drag monsters on so that they are automatically numbered, allow you to select a bunch of monsters and roll initiative for all of them at once, and then also allow you to make saving throws and automatically apply damage based on the results of those throws. So let's say we had 6 damage applied to these kobolds. We can see their saving throws, and we can automatically apply the damage to them. So let's start out with automatically numbering our monsters. For that, we're going to use a script called TokenNameNumber. And that is actually part of the Roll20 script library, so you can just go in and install it straight away. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and look for the creature you want to number. So I'm going to go with a kobold here. And I'm just going to drop my kobold onto the map. I'm going to open up the kobold's token. And in the name section here, I'm going to add the following. %% numbered. And then %%. And we're going to show nameplate on this as well. And we'll save changes. So now I'm going to open up the kobold's character sheet. And I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to change the default token. I'm going to remove the one that's here by default. And I'm going to replace it with the one that I just modified. And we'll save changes. Okay. So now when I drag new kobolds onto the map, you can see now we have kobold 1, kobold 2, kobold 3, and I can keep going. And each time I do, I'm going to get a new kobold added to the map. So let's do a total of 6, and I will delete my old original kobold. There we go. So I've got 6 kobolds now, and each one of them has a number affixed with their name. So this is going to make it very easy for you as the GM now to differentiate one kobold from another, and it'll make it easier for your players as well. You know, now a particular character can say, yes, I'm going to target kobold number 2 or kobold number 6, rather than trying to say, okay, I'm going to get the kobold that's to the southeast, or having them to have to ping on things. Now they can just say which kobold number they want, and it's easy for you to track that. So now we've got our 6 kobolds on the battlefield. We're about to get into a fight. We need to roll initiative. As the GM, I now have to go through and click on each individual kobold and roll initiative for all 6 of them one by one. That's kind of tedious, especially if you have a really big mob of monsters. You know, I've only got 6 here. If I had 10 or more, this would get very, very tedious, as I had to go provide initiative for all of them. So what we're going to do instead is use a script called Group Init. And Group Init allows you to roll initiative for groups of monsters at a time. This script is also included in Roll20's API script library, so you can just go right into your game and install it straight away. Once it's installed, there is a little bit of configuration you want to do. And I'm going to put the commands that you want to do down in the description of the video. So basically what you're going to do is start out with this. This is essentially clearing everything. And then you're going to put in the other 2 commands. And essentially what these are saying is, how will the initiative bonus be determined for the creatures? So the first one is initiative bonus. So if the creature specifically has an initiative bonus on their character sheet, we're going to use that. If they don't have a specific initiative bonus listed, then we're going to use their dexterity modifier as their initiative bonus. That's what those commands are doing. With that done, now what I can do is select the whole group of tokens. Let's open up the turn tracker here. Select all my kobolds, and now I'm just going to type in Group Init. And there you go. You see that it's rolled initiative for all 6 of those kobolds. And if you hover over the numbers, you can see what they rolled plus their bonus. So there we go. We now have all of our kobolds with initiative. They've all been added to the turn tracker, and we are ready to have a fight. Now, to speed this up even more, I would suggest that you make a macro for group initiative, so that you just come up here, add a macro. We'd call this Group Init, and then you just put in the Group Init command. And that way, if you're like me and not the best typist in the world, you have the macro ready to go. Again, we can test it just to make sure we got it all right there. Looks good. Save changes. And then I would put this in the bar. So now I can just select all my monsters and click Group Init. All right, so the fight is happening, and the wizard comes down here, and the wizard decides that he's just going to unload a fireball, which is going to hit potentially all of the kobolds. All right, that means that each of my kobolds needs to make a dexterity save. Now, I could just roll one save and say that all my kobolds got that, but if they roll really badly, that could result in all the kobolds getting wiped out. If that one kobold rolls really well, that could result in them, not taking much damage. So it's not really fair to only roll the save for just one creature. So what we'll do instead is use another script called GroupCheck. And GroupCheck is also included in the Roll20 API script library. When you first load that one up, it's going to display a message like this. Let me just scroll up to get to it. Here we are. It's going to say, it seems you're starting fresh with GroupCheck. Would you like to import one of the built-in lists of checks? Click on the word import. And then this dataset from 5e OGL imported message will show up. Obviously, if you're using a different character sheet than the 5e OGL, you'll probably see a different message. And again, you may want to refer to the script's documentation if you're using a different character sheet that maybe isn't supported, or there's other things you might have to do. But the upshot is, once you've got this done, what you want to do is run the following command. And again, I'm going to put this down in the description, so you'll be able to just copy and paste it. But it's GroupCheck, and then Dexterity Save. Okay, and again, I'm going to highlight all my kobolds here, run that command, and there we go. We can see now each of my kobolds made a saving throw, and I can determine whether or not that save was successful versus my wizard's DC. Now, you could, of course, make different kinds of saves using that command. You could make Constitution saves. You could make Wisdom saves. There are ability checks you could do. Again, the script's documentation has a full list of examples of different things, but this is something that you can do to really speed up combat when all of your monsters that need to make a save can do so with just one command. Now, building on that, my wizard has cast Fireball. Therefore, all of my kobolds had to make their save. Those who succeeded are going to take half damage. Those who failed are going to take full damage, which means I now have 6 tokens that I need to go through and update. Granted, with a fireball, it would probably wipe out all the kobolds. But for illustrative purposes, we want to apply damage to a whole bunch of tokens all at once. And that's where the last script comes in. The apply damage script will enable you to apply damage to a whole bunch of different monsters all at once. And the beauty of this is it's used in conjunction with the GroupCheck script. So you make the check, you see who passed and who failed, and then you can apply damage straight away based on that. Now, the apply damage script is not in the API library, so I'm including a link to it down in the description. But the way you can use this is with the following command. I'm going to actually paste this in here, and I'm going to put it down in the description as well. But we're going to use GroupCheck in conjunction with apply damage. So I'm selecting all these. I've just pasted in my command. I'm going to press enter. And now it's asking me, okay, what kind of save do you want to make? Well, in this case, we're going to make a dexterity save. What's the DC? Let's say our wizard has a DC of 15. And then how much damage? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, he rolls really low. It's only 6 damage. Submit. And then damage on save. Is this one where you take half damage on a save, or is it no damage on a save? I'm going to say half. And then submit. Okay, so here we go. We can see now we have the save again versus DC 15. So that's new. That wasn't here this last time around. We can see all of the saves. So a couple of my kobolds have made the save, but a couple haven't. I'm going to click apply damage now. And you can see the damage was automatically applied to my kobolds. And a handful of them are at negative numbers, so they're all dead. But the other ones are still up, but their HP has been adjusted accordingly. So that just saved me a lot of aggravation in going through and clicking on each individual token to reduce their hit points. So that's another one you'll probably want to create a macro for. Again, you know, name it something like GroupCheck damage, and paste in the code, save the changes, and then add that to your bar. And now, you know, whenever you need to make that roll, you can just select everything, do a GroupCheck damage, and it will make the saves and allow you to apply any damage dealt. So there you go, 4 scripts that will help you run combat for groups of monsters much faster. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.